Hey guys, what's up? Have you gotten a letter from your insurance company from CVS Caremark stating that they are no longer going to cover your Zepbound as of July 1st, 2025, and you will be forced to switch over to Wegovy as of July 1st, 2025? Well, you're not alone. I got the same letter. I was previously on Zepbound for 2.5 years or so and happily maintaining my weight loss. And all of a sudden I get this letter stating I'm no longer covered for Zepbound as of July 1st, 2025, and I will be forced to go to Wegovy. Well, here's the good news. I was able to get a prior authorization to go back just now. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I did to get it so that you can do the same thing, take the same steps if you're not happy on Wegovy to get back to Zepbound or Mounjaro. So let me give you a little background. I have previously lost over 50 pounds and I have been keeping it off now and maintaining with Zepbound weekly shot 12.5 milligrams. And that's been keeping me steady at a weight of about 113 pounds for the last 2.5 years. I give myself about a 3 or 4 pounds leeway, flexibility, because your weight's not going to stay exactly the same every single day. But for the most part, I've stayed very steady at about 113 pounds. It's my happy weight. I've built muscle, I've gained strength. It's been amazing for my mental clarity and it's just given me so much. Why mess with a good thing? And when I got that letter, I was not happy. Now, previously to going on to Zepbound and Mounjaro, I did start my original journey with Ozempic and then Wegovy, and it worked great for me. I had a lot of success, very little negative side effects at that time. What got me to switch over, and I have other videos that detail this in more detail, I hit a stall, basically. I was in a stall for 4 months and my prescriber recommended switching over. And so that's what I did at that time. And it was great. Between that and tweaking some other things, I was able to lose the remainder of my weight. I felt really good on it. Just like physically, mentally, food noise, like everything just felt better. And it is a better medication. Now, I'm not saying that Wegovy is a bad medication. It still can be amazing for many, many people. And I mean, I've been on it, so I can attest to the fact that it's still a great medication. But statistically, and from studies and research and all the rest of it, tirzepatide, it is the next iteration. It is a dual agonist. It is better for weight loss. It does give you a higher percentage, and also more people can tolerate it and have less side effects on it as well. So if you're not doing well on Ozempic or Wegovy, or you run into a stall or anything of that nature, switching over is going to be to your benefit. And if I was starting out, quite frankly, on my journey, I would just start out with tirzepatide. So anyway, that's the background. So here I am doing great, going along, and then bam, of course, get this letter and was not happy about it. But I said to myself, well, I was successful on Wegovy at one point. I am in maintenance right now, so I might as well give it a shot, no pun intended, and go back to Wegovy and see what happens. And the reason being was Wegovy with my copay was $25. And then the Novo Nordisk has a coupon, and that the coupon brought it down to $0. Every single month is $0. So essentially I'm not paying anything. My prescriber put me on to 2.4 milligrams of Wegovy because I was already on 12.5 of Zepbound. There's really no equivalent when you are going back and forth. There's just nothing there. So I went to the 2.4 and I still had Zepbound. I still had some extra Zepbound in my refrigerator. So what I ended up doing was I went and got the Wegovy and I said, oh, let's give it a shot. If it works, great, and I'm paying nothing for it. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to try the PA. Now, let me back up a second. I actually did have my doctor do a PA right from the beginning in July, and within about 24 hours, denied. So that was really deflating. And I had previously been on Wegovy, so that was denied real quick. So, all right, I'm gonna go on Wegovy. So I said, all right, I have some Zepbound in my fridge. I think the best course of action would be to get the Wegovy, try it out, and if for some reason it's just not working or not making me feel good or whatever, I have the Zepbound that I can go back to that's already in my fridge. And in my mind, I said, if I can't get a PA for it, a prior authorization, then, and the Wegovy doesn't work, then I am gonna either go to Lilly Direct and pay $500 a month, which is a lot, especially compared to, you know, $0 or a $25 copay or a $40 or whatever it is. And $500 is a lot of money. Or I'll go to compounding and I'll do it that way. And compounding, probably you can get it for about $300 or so a month. Still a lot of money. And the fact of the matter is, I have health insurance. I've qualified for this. I qualified originally based on my starting point. So, you know, I pay for health insurance. It should cover me, right? And the Wegovy is on the formulary. Zepbound and Mounjaro were on the formulary, but then, you know, this whole deal and this whole craziness started. So anyway, so what I decided to do, I got on the Wegovy. I took the first week of it, which was 2.4. I didn't really notice a difference. Now, I went straight from Zepbound to Wegovy. There was no breaks, no need for that. So the Zepbound was still in my system, and now I took the Wegovy. It felt okay the first week, but then the second week, and now I started getting symptoms. I started getting really fatigued, and I didn't change anything. My diet, workout, everything was the same, but I definitely felt tired or more tired. I started getting some stomach distress, gastrointestinal distress, just wasn't feeling good. And I also started gaining weight on the scale. Now, I don't think that was body fat. I do think it was inflammation and water weight, which is it's just very weird. But I'm also extremely sensitive. Like, I'm really in touch with how I feel and my body and the different fluctuations. And I really can feel the difference. And then mentally, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling as good. And I was truly hoping it would work, truly, because, hey, paying nothing would be amazing. And if I could maintain on that and feel great, I was all about it. So I was very willing and had a positive mindset going in. But after a few weeks of being on it, I'm like, no, this isn't working. So I reached back out to my doctor and I said, this isn't working. Can you please submit another PA? And I know there's a way of, you know, potentially getting it, especially that I tried the Wegovy and I failed it. So my healthcare practitioner doesn't really like to do PAs. It's very time consuming for them. They don't really like to do it, but they were willing to. And they tried again to do another PA. This time I got an answer within 4 hours, denied. Well, that was really deflating. I'm like, ugh, what am I gonna do? This isn't working. I'm gonna probably have to get compounding or Lilly Direct and just be prepared to pay a lot more, because my health is important, my well-being, how I'm feeling, all of that is much more important to me. And it's worth it. So that was my mindset, and I was kind of feeling deflated. Then I began to do some more research on the PAs and whatnot. And I called my insurance company and I said, tell me exactly what happened with the PA. Why was it denied? So I got that information from them, which is what I definitely suggest if you've tried a PA before to call your insurance company and find out what exactly did your doctor do? How did they submit it? What were the steps that they did? Was there anything missing? And lo and behold, there was some things missing from the PA and whatnot. So they told me exactly what to do on how to get it approved. There is something called a Mounjaro workarounds. And I'm gonna outline the steps on what it took to get there. Now, I did ask my doctor if they would do another PA, and never got a response from them. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not gonna bother them anymore. Now, a doctor has to submit this. So this is what I did. So if you can get your doctor to submit it, great. But if you can't, here's what I did. I used a chat box. That's what they use, a chat box. So I went to a place called On-Call Docs. It's all through chat. So you don't even have to call them. It's all a chat box. On-Call Docs. They will submit a PA for you for $50. It's worth it, trust me. If for some reason your healthcare practitioner doesn't want to do it, or many times they just don't know what they're doing, this place is great. For $50, they will submit the PA. Now, what I did and what I would suggest that you guys do as well is gather all the information and give it to them and tell them exactly what they need to do. They've done it before, yes, but I don't know who's behind the chat box, and you definitely need to stay on top of them and make sure it's going to the right place, because it has to go to the PA approval portion of them. And I am very anal about that stuff. So I'm like, okay, here's all my documentation. Here's exactly the steps you need to take. And so I was very adamant about everything. I outlined everything in there. So here are the steps that you can take to make this happen for you. So what they use, and I'm going to read this off so I don't get it wrong for you. And I'm going to put this up at the end of the video as well. So you could take a snapshot if you want of exactly what you need to do. So what they will do is they use an app called Cover My Meds. And that's how they submit the prior authorization. They have to submit the prior authorization for Zepbounds. And then, and this is specifically for the Caremark CVS. I'm not sure if it works for other ones. Maybe you could try it. Let me know if it does. But then in question number 3 on Cover My Meds, they need to say yes. Mark that one as yes. One of the things that my doctor had originally did wrong was they outlined all of the clinical data in a letter, but they didn't put it in the chart notes. And my insurance company was like, they have to put it in the chart notes. So they don't make it easy. So make sure that you write in there, this has to be written in the chart notes. Now, when they write in there, they are going to have to put in that you had been on Wegovy. So you have to give Wegovy a try. And I've seen people who have tried it as little as 2 weeks and failed on it and get approved. So probably 2 weeks might be a minimum. I'm not sure. I had put in there, I think that I had been on it for a month or 2. So you want to put in there that you have failed Wegovy and exactly why you failed it. So I put in what was truthful for me was I had some nausea, gastrointestinal issues, pain, distress. I had fatigue. I had weight gain. And so you have to put in the rationale as to why you failed it. Again, this is in the chart notes. Then for question number 4, that also must be marked as yes to submit it to CVS Health. This will then lead them to question number 5. Now, question number 5 is very important. It says, it asks for an alternative medication. And this is the one where they're going to say, yes, I will choose an alternative medication. And it'll say Mounjaro. And you want them to select Mounjaro. Now, when they submit it, they also should submit it as urgent. If they submit as urgent, then they will look at it, review it, and give you an answer within 24 hours. If they don't mark it as urgent, it could take them up to 30 days to review it. Now, here are some other things that you're going to want to include. Your clinical history. And it has to be documented, like legit. I had a letter from my doctor that documented my clinical history. So why, how you got originally approved. So originally you were approved for this either through having a BMI of 30 plus or 27 plus with a comorbidity. That's another like weight related condition such as high cholesterol, blood pressure, etc. So you want that clinical data or sleep apnea or whatever it is you originally got approved for. Then you want to list out the duration of your struggle. So I put in here that I've struggled with my weight for decades, been unable to maintain a weight loss long-term until starting a GLP-1. Then you have to list out the lifestyle changes that you've tried. So they want to see what you've done and what you tried. So as most of us, I tried numerous methods over the years, such as different diet programs, Weight Watchers, calorie restriction, tracking food, working out, exercise, running, strength training, walking, and then behavioral strategies as well, such as structured meal plans, therapy, accountability. So I put all of those things in there and documented it to make it really easy for the people submitting the PA, and also put in, despite years of effort and all of these approaches, not effective for lasting weight loss or maintenance. Then you want to put in all of your treatment history. So I put in when I started, which was September of 2022, the medications I put in, how I transitioned, and then at the end, how I had been successfully maintaining on Zepbound, 12.5 milligrams on a weekly dose for X period of time, how then I went to Wegovy, the issues that I had, and then there's what's called outcomes. So the outcomes are, for me, with the GLP-1 therapy, I lost 50 pounds, successfully maintaining now for over 2 years on Zepbound, tolerate the medication really well without any sort of significant side effects. And you want to put in your starting weight as well. So you want to put in your before weight. That's your original weight. That's really important. I also put in my height because I think that's relevant. If you're short like me, my starting weight could be someone's goal weight, if you're really tall. So you want to put in your starting weight, not your current weight. And then they have additional questions that they're going to want you to answer. Any medical restrictions, any mental health issues, belief in the medication's role. So this is what I put in. This is an exact quote. I believe GLP-1 therapy is medically necessary for me. Obesity is a chronic, relapsing metabolic disease, and research shows that most patients require long-term or indefinite GLP-1 use to sustain results. This medication controls food noise, supports metabolic function, and allows me to maintain my weight loss and health outcomes. Overall health benefits, GLP-1 therapy has significantly improved my health and well-being by lowering my cholesterol, which was my comorbidity, supporting sustained weight loss and maintenance, reducing the risk of weight regain and other related comorbidities, and allowing me to live a healthier, more active life. These are all really important. And then the final note for the prior authorization, I put in, I require continuation on Zepbound 12.5 milligrams weekly. The prior authorization should be submitted for Zepbound with tirzepatide, Mounjaro, listed as the system workarounds. I do not want to be switched to any other alternative medication, as Mounjaro, Zepbound, is the therapy that has worked for me long-term success and tolerability. Again, I will list all of this out so you can see it, but this is what worked. I wanted to make it as easy as possible for them to do it. But even with that, I still messaged them, making sure that it was going to get sent in. And then they sent it in. Now this all happened in less than a week. So I think I started the process with them on a Monday or Tuesday. They submitted the PA on a Friday, and literally within hours, I got approved. Hallelujah. I was shocked, to be honest with you. I was prepared for another, decline on that, not approved, but I got approved. And I got an email that said I was approved, and then I looked in my insurance app, and under the PAs, it said I was approved for Mounjaro 12.5. I'm like, thank you. It was so worth it. Now, they will also call in the medication for you. If you want, you can have your doc call in as well, but the on-call docs will call it in, and I had to stay on top of them to do that as well. So stayed on top of them. It was approved on a Friday. Now the doctors there, they don't work over the weekends. So they called it in on Monday, and then Monday it was available. I'm like, they called it in Monday. CVS said it's available, come pick it up. I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, this is like winning the lottery. Like seriously, it feels like winning the lottery, to be honest with you. I go to CVS, I pick it up, and I'm like, this is insane. Now the PA is approved for 1 year. So hopefully we can go through the same process next year and get it approved. We'll see what happens, but at least I'm now covered for a year at the 12.5, which has been keeping me exactly where I needed to be. Happy, weight stable, everything. And I gotta say, I have been on this now for 2.5 years, and some people will say like they don't feel the effects anymore, or they think they don't. I definitely 100% still feel it. And in fact, it almost feels like it's starting to change. Like I feel almost like my signaling is changing in a good way. I feel like I'm getting full a little quicker, but it's definitely still there. It's definitely still working for me. I do all the things in addition to that. I eat a very nutrition-based diet, whole foods only, because my whole goal really is to keep my insulin sensitivity. That is the goal. The GLPs help with the insulin sensitivity and all the signaling and all that. Building muscle, eating real food, not processed food, helps with the insulin sensitivity. Sleep, managing stress, getting sunlight, like doing all the things helps with the insulin sensitivity. So I'm doing all of that in addition to the GLP-1. And it's obviously working because here I am, stable weight, 2.5 years, never been able to do this before, feel amazing. And I want you guys to get this as well. You deserve it. And it's really unfair, whatever deal that CVS and Caremark and whatever they struck, Wegovy is a different medication. It is only a GLP-1, and tirzepatide is a GLP-1 plus a GIP, and it works better, and it certainly works better for me. So let me know in the comments, have you tried the workaround? Has it worked? If you've tried it and it's been unsuccessful, let me know as well. There may have been something that your doctor did, or, not on purpose, but, by accident, where they submitted it incorrectly. So definitely call your insurance company and find out. I do think the PA folks in the insurance company, they are willing to help. They certainly were very happy to help me out and tell me exactly the steps that needed to be taken. I had no idea about the, click the box that says urgent, which was fantastic, because who wants to wait 30 days to see what your result is going to be? So let me know in the comments. Send this to a friend that might need some help with this as well. And if you liked it, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I have a ton more content on weight loss, building muscle, GLP-1s, mindset, nutrition, all of that. And if there's anything in particular you want to know about, hear about, ask a question about, leave it in the comments. I might make a video out of it as well. I will see you in the next video. Stay strong.